Jesse here, video producer for AdoptMe, and I'm sitting down with Derrick, our lead content artist, to talk about his work and the fossil egg.
I am the lead content artist for AdoptMe, which involves both creating a lot of the 3D assets for the game and working with other members of the art team to come up with creative ideas for future and current content releases.
So is this your first job as a content artist, or have you worked on other things before?
I come from more of an indie background, contributing to a lot of smaller projects, doing similar things, but this would be the first one specifically focused on and kind of like a user-generated game environment. Previously, it's just been mostly like assets and environment props and the like of that.
What was the first thing you ever made for AdoptMe?
Maybe it was a furniture set. Yeah, I made some of the modern furniture, and then I think shortly after that had to have been the Lunar New Year content, working on that stuff. That was all pretty early when I got here.
We're releasing this, it's not been that long since the fossil egg came out. You were heavily involved in the creation of that from its inception. So where did the inspiration for the fossil egg first come from?
Oh, wow. There's definitely been a lot of ongoing team jokes of having dinosaurs and prehistoric animals in AdoptMe. So that conversation had been circulating for a while. But I think it's very easy to answer, some of the key inspirations within popular media, and some of our favorite dino films definitely found their way into generating some of the animations and styles for a lot of the pets. So not to point out the T-Rex specifically, but that was definitely the one that we worked on first.
So talking about the visual style of the pets, some of the colors, especially the Dilophosaurus and the Glyptodon, are really different from how we usually see dinosaurs depicted. So was there anything in the work that significantly impacted the visual style of the pets when you created them?
Yeah, oftentimes when we're working on pets and any of the pets really, we usually try to focus on creating pets that can touch a few different color palettes, and making sure that those color palettes are harmonious with one another. When we were working on the fossil pets, we did see a balance between having some pets that leaned towards earthy tones, while other pets kind of had sort of vibrant or pastel colors. And we just kind of wanted to keep that divide going. And so in the case of the Glyptodon, that was definitely one that we said, let's make that one fun and very kind of uncannily colored when compared to the version of it in reality.
Were there any unique challenges you faced when it came to creating the fossil pets, either in deciding which ones to put in it or any kind of technical limitations you came across?
Yes to both of those questions, because there's so many different prehistoric and extinct animals to choose from, that we had to figure out which ones could not only be really cool but not be too cool. Of course, when we're trying to think of different prehistoric animals, T-Rex comes up first on the list. Velociraptor was one that came up, but those two were too similar to one another, and so instead Dilophosaurus and others like that were brought in to replace that idea. Along with that, we were challenged by making sure that a lot of the pets didn't fall within one, say, prehistoric timeline, by way of, dinosaurs or mammoth or anything like that. And so when we broadened our focus to just make it prehistoric, or not prehistoric, but extinct animals, it allowed us to touch different time periods, which helped us to create pets of varying popularity, I guess would be the best word, so that we didn't end up making all the pets look as though they were ultra rare or something like that. Some of them had to be a little bit more generic than others, and then once we figured out that, once we had okay, let's pick a few from couple different time periods, it helped us whittle that down. But it was still hard to decide between the existing animals that were within those time periods, which eventually led to the pets that you see in Fossil. As far as technical hurdles, I would say making sure that the pets could be both modeled and designed in a way that still kept them efficient for the game, while also not taking away from any of the shape or feature to the pet. One of the things that is very important when 3D modeling is making sure that the model itself isn't what's called its poly count being too high, meaning that it has too much detail. And so we had to make sure that our detail was finding that right balance between low in detail, but also interesting in its appearance so that it could run efficiently in the game.
You spoke earlier about the difficulties in selecting pets to go into the fossil egg. Are there any animals that didn't make it into the egg that you'd love to work on in the future, maybe in another egg?
Maybe something like a Bronchiosaurus was one that was definitely talked about. Some of the more adjacent, like T-Rex adjacent dinosaurs, of which I can't think of their name at the moment, but we talked about some of those. The Velociraptor was one that we definitely talked about, but I feel like the Dilophosaurus, or sorry, I might be misremembering which one. Dinosaur names are hard. Anyway, but yes, there were a couple, just to name a few, that didn't make it in that would still be really cool to have. But ultimately, I'm really satisfied with the ones that we came up with and put out for the event.
Let's talk Fossil Isle. So when the Fossil Egg came out, it was prefaced by several weeks of Fossil Isle as its own separate area. When did you and the team decide to add Fossil Isle rather than just change the egg in the gumball machine?
I think that was right. I think that was right at the beginning, actually. It was an opportunity to test, creating something of a special occasion for the egg, only because we had, some new team members on board and a little bit more resources as far as how many people could contribute to the project. And so it was definitely an opportunity to explore being able to design more of a feature event for the egg and make it something really special. So yeah, and there were a lot of Jurassic Park jokes. So it was one of those moments where we just said, we have to be able to kind of lean into something like that and make this a little bit special.
And how did it feel seeing our players' reactions to Fossil Isle as they discovered the new pets and then obviously the launch itself?
It was both equal parts exciting and a little bit overwhelming. I'm still wrapping my head around just how many people interact with this game and the pets and all the other bits of content that are in there. And so watching the excitement over some of the pets that I directly contributed to or that other team members directly contributed to is really humbling. And I love getting to see people's reactions. When the Fossil Isle launched, I loaded into. I was in there when it launched, and I just walked in and kind of stood around. I didn't, I didn't do any of the quest line. I was just watching people load into the game and watching chat kind of spiral out of control over the area and people's impressions of it. So it was really great.
That's awesome. Do you have any advice for viewers who would maybe love to work for AdoptMe in the future, possibly as, like yourself, a content artist?
Sure. If 3D art is something that you're inspired to do or pursuant as a career, and working in a space like AdoptMe is something that you're after, I would say, hit the YouTube tutorials and 3D softwares as soon as you can. There's a lot of free resources out there that one can already pick up the mouse and start 3D modeling and learning how to 3D model as at your leisure. And there's a lot of opportunities that come with that, and a lot of people online who are ready and willing to support you if you work hard enough to seek out some of those people. I myself am more than happy to. I know I'm probably signing myself up for something here, but I'm always happy, when available, to be able to answer questions online about 3D modeling. And so if that means that it'll enable somebody else to feel inspired to do that, I think it's important to be able to.
My last question before I let you go, be honest with us. Which fossil egg pet is your favorite?
Dodo. Yep, I'm a fan of pink colors, and the dodo is both thanks to thanks to David's Animations, another one of the team members on the project. The way that he brought that pet to life was really spectacular. But yeah, I also favor my edgy, toothy dinosaurs. So the T-Rex is there as well.
Before I let you go, where can people follow you online? Are there any other projects you're working on outside of AdoptMe that you'd love people to know about?
Certainly. So I am online at Waking Oni, waking like waking up in the morning, and that's on Twitter and Twitch. I actually stream a little bit of game dev twice a week on Twitch because outside of AdoptMe, I have my own project called Onsen Master that I'm currently working on and releasing in a few months. And so if you ever want to ask questions about game dev, that is the place to do it. If you ever want to see me play old games or new games, that is the place to do it as well. But that's where you can find me.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Derrick. I know you're incredibly busy, so I really appreciate you taking the time to chat to me and answer all my questions. But I think people are really going to love hearing from you. Best of luck. I'm excited to see the next project that comes out of you guys, which I believe is a little winter update.
Yeah, things about to get a little chilly. It was a pleasure getting to chat, and I appreciate you reaching out. So thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more AdoptMe videos.